Hello and good morning. Welcome to another presentation of the Solid Sports video blog. This is episode 30 and today's date is September 23rd, 2017. Thank you so much for watching. Solid Day Assassin. Also, my name is Troy West. Thank you so much for watching the channel. Been doing pretty well. I thank everybody who's been supporting me. I appreciate it so much. Of course, today is Saturday. This is the normal blog. Of course, I've been doing a blog on Wednesdays as well, to preview Thursday Night Football, which was an excellent one this week. I'll talk about that and more in this episode. Of course, we will touch on a little baseball, as there's only about a week left in the season. Teams try to position themselves for playoff positions. I'll touch on that real quick. Talk a little bit about the NBA. A lot of stuff off the court happened this week. The Kyrie Irving interview from earlier this week. I'll touch on that. Kevin Durant on Twitter with his Twitter problems, I guess I would have put it that way. And I also listed my top 5 shooting guards in the NBA, so I share that with you guys this morning. Also, of course, NFL Week 3, a couple of games I picked out that I'll touch on. I'll give you the picks for all the games this week. And of course, talk about the Rams and 49ers, which is an entertaining game Thursday night. And just going to wrap up with some final thoughts. A little bit of a rush this morning. Shout out to my twin nieces. I'm going to go see them today, and they already will be on their way here, so I have to hurry up and try to record this. So hopefully I'll break a record and have a short video this morning. But I ain't going to blabble, because that's what I start doing once I start explaining things. So I'm going to get started. Major League Baseball, of course, season's winding down. Like I said, wild cards is starting to get tight. Divisions are starting to wrap up. The Dodgers, congratulations to them, they finally clinched the division. You would think they would be one of the first to clinch. How hot the season they had. Slowed down a little bit in late August and earlier this month, but they're starting to get it back together. They finally clinched the West and stay in the National League. The Cubs still leading the Central, but the Brewers not going away. They had a big series. It started Thursday. Cubs already won the first 2 games. If they finish the sweep today and tomorrow, they could already clinch the Central in that. But the Brewers are right behind the Colorado Rockies, who's falling off big, as the Brewers are right there. Arizona pretty much wrapped up. They were probably going to clinch that number 1 wild card in the National League. And in the East, the Nationals been clinched about a couple of weeks ago. Just trying to position themselves maybe to have home field throughout the playoffs, or at least in the National League. In the American League, Houston, of course, continues to strive. They won their division already. Just position themselves for the best record in the American League. Boston, still holding off the Yankees, but I don't think the Yankees are going to catch them. And the Yankees have pulled away a little bit for that number 1 wild card. In the Central, it's just, of course, Cleveland pulled away. They had a big winning streak. They lost again last night, but I think they won 26 out of 28. So they've been rolling. They already clinched the Central. Wild cards starting to separate a little bit. The Twins still holding on to that final spot, but right there is the LA Angels. I think really the only team that still really got a shot. I think everybody else is too far. The Orioles, the Rays, they playing each other. They're going to cancel each other out, I think, this week, as they're 5 games out. Seattle is falling out of the race. So the Twins got an easier schedule. So I think the way things are, basically, I think in both leagues, the way things are right now, except for that nationally, I think the Brewers have a chance to get that final spot. So is the St. Louis Cardinals. Shout out to them as well. They played very well and stayed in it. They just got a good organization. Kind of remind me of the Spurs a little bit. Like, they just consistently always contending for a playoff spot, or at least for the division. They still right there as well. So I think that's going to get a little interesting as the week go on. I think the American League, the team's going to start pulling away, especially Minnesota. I think they will hold on and win that wild card spot. Of course, I've been having a special preview show. I don't know exactly what date. I think the playoffs start like on a Thursday, so I'll probably probably will have to record 2 blogs. I'll probably do one for the Thursday night football game and one for the playoffs of the baseball. So I'm gonna have a special blog on the playoffs, previewing them. Not going off my picks I picked for the beginning of the year. The Indians and the Dodgers. Still expect them to make it to the World Series. Still expect the Dodgers to win, even though I don't feel as confident as I did probably in the beginning of the season. Alright, let's move on to the NBA. Of course, listed my top 5 shooting guards, but first I want to talk about 2 days off the court that everybody been talking about this week. Of course, I'll start with the Kevin Durant thing, because really, to me, that's not really a big deal. He sort of basically what happened was it was a fan he was engaging with on Twitter, basically still criticizing him going to Golden State. He sort of like clapped back at the fan, but of course he pretty much admitted that he knew what he was doing, but pretty much was defending himself. Like me, I don't like social media, and that's part of the reasons why, because there's idiots on there. And people, even the people that you know, they act like fools just for attention. I don't understand it. Like, I'm the same person. So in social media, in real life, I don't understand that. I just never understand that aspect. Then I'm not a person that like to share. I don't post anything. Honestly, I only had social media to look at other people's pages. I was just looking at other people's stuff, and that's it. I never shared too much or nothing of my own. But anyway, I just don't think it's a big deal. I think I'm just confused about how he's thinking. Like, he's a champion now. I don't think he has nothing else to answer to. Just don't understand why he engaged with fans that way. But at the same time, people are idiots. And I know sometimes you just want to let them know how you feel. But him being in the spotlight, I think you just never win by doing it. So I think he need to just chill. But I also like how his answer was, because he explained himself a couple of days later. Said he liked to engage with his fans, and that's pretty rare. A lot of people, not saying they think they're above people, but they really don't engage with fans. So I appreciate that with him, that he want to engage with his fans directly, which is rare, even in the social media world that we are now. Like, some people don't like to engage directly with their fans, or they think that you're trying to, which is understandable. Think you try to take advantage of them, or trying to scam them out of something, or that nature. So I understand it, but I commend them for that. But I think he still needs to be a little careful, engage with fans and social media. But he's one of my favorite players, by the way. I like his game. I think eventually he will be considered the best player in the world. I mean, still gotta get that to LeBron right now, but he's right there, despite him having other talent around him in Golden State. And they big favorites to win the championship again. Just hope he just stay out of trouble. Can't wait till the season starts, which is less than a month away now, I think. So, the more interesting thing that happened this week is that Kyrie Irving wanted to come out and have an interview with explain himself about what happened. He sort of did, but sort of didn't at the same time. Of course, he went on First Take. First Take is one of the best shows, sports shows in the morning. I watch it religiously every day. Stephen A. Smith, one of my idols. Max Kellerman is entertaining. I like him. Don't forget Molly as well. It's a great show. I've been watching it for years. Even since Skip Bayless was on it, I've been watching First Take for years. So, one of my favorite shows. And it was shockingly, because they was sort of teasing it, saying, we got a special guest. I definitely would have thought it was Kyrie, but anyway, he came on. They in First Take, they wasn't easy on him. They asked him the tough questions, basically about him and LeBron, his relationship with LeBron. Basically, he was like, well, I just want to do what I want to do for myself, which is understandable. Nothing really that you can argue with that. Some people basically assuming that him and LeBron had a bad relationship, which might be possible, might be true. But like I said, me being a sports fan, I don't care about all the off-the-court stuff too much. But one thing that stood out to me with his interview, when he said he wanted to develop more as a point guard, as a player. I feel like he was being sort of kept under wraps a bit. So that I thought about it. I was like, yeah, that's sort of true, because he's not a prototypical point guard, but basically he said in interview that he can be, and he thinks going to Boston will definitely help him do that. So it's like I couldn't argue with that. That's what I was like, well, that makes sense. Out of everything else probably don't make sense. Probably we could speculate him and LeBron relationship, blah blah blah, all that stuff, but I think that part was pretty much true. Like, he basically said he was just used in isolation all the time. He wasn't really the point guard. It was really that's true. It basically was LeBron. LeBron bring the ball up the court and run the offense. So that part, like, that's when he said that, I was like, okay, you know, I can understand that. And then, like I said, the situation he was put in when LeBron came back, you know, so like I said, a lot of people say he don't want to win, all blah blah blah. Maybe, like I said, like, maybe he's confident that he can win, you know, by himself. Don't need LeBron. I don't think it's too personal about me personally. My opinion, I don't think it was real personal. I think it's more about him like he said, wanting to develop his game. But I mean, but if it is personal, like, who? I mean, I don't care. I gonna say who cares, because I don't really care. I hope it wasn't that way, but I don't think so. But we'll probably never find out till 20 years from now if it was really a problem. So they both retire, you know, or if one of them speak about it first, you ain't gonna hear from the other. So you might as well just forget about that. Everybody want to know what happened. So what? He went to Boston. It's over with. It should be a great season. They play each other to start off the season. So just enjoy that part of it. I ain't really had a problem. He was sort of condescending, you know. He did give a lot of information, but like Stephen, they said on the show, like, what you expect? Like, Max was grilling him probably the hardest. But what you expect? He's gonna come up here and just tell you everything? Of course not. I mean, I didn't expect that. But I mean, but at the same time, you could take how he, you know, what his answers was and speculate. But that's the point. Speculate. You would never know. So. And I think the theory of Stephen A is right. When LeBron speak to the media, they want him to grill him about, all right, well, what happened with Kyrie? Because he said just enough to put the heat sort of on LeBron as well. So probably going to be it's probably going to go on for the whole season, you know, especially after they play each other and when they play each other, which will start when the season starts. So it was an interesting interview. I think he says he's happy. I'm happy for him. So let's just move on. Let's get ready for the season, because it's very exciting season this year with all the moves that was made. And just for a side note, I put together my notes usually a day before I record, but of course now you heard about Carmelo Anthony might be traded, and he's opened up his options. I just heard about that right before I got on this morning. First he wanted to just go to Houston. Now he said he would go to Cleveland or Oklahoma City. And they might have more assets that the Knicks will probably make a move. So look out for that. That could happen any moment now. Of course, training camp for them start Monday. I think he wanted to be out before then. So we'll see if something go down. Like I said, the Portland thing, that's, you know, more of a rumor. I mean, I guess he don't want to go to Portland, but I think that'd be an interesting team to go to. But that's just me as a fan. I wouldn't mind saying that. But Oklahoma City or Cleveland, definitely Cleveland. That'll definitely make things interesting if he goes there. So we'll see if something happens between now and Monday or before the season starts. So just look out for that. All right, let me list my top 5 point guards real quick. So shooting guards. I'm sorry, I did the point guards last week. With my list, of course, these are players that mainly play the shooting guard position. Some of these players do play small forward sometimes. Some of them, you know, play point guard sometimes, but their primary position is shooting guard. So I try to keep it at that. So if somebody didn't make the list, like basically, well, Paul George, for example, I just brought up Paul George. He played the shooting guard sometimes, but his primary position has always been small forward. So that's why he's not on the list. So let me just get started with the list. Number 5, CJ McCollum of Portland. I just talked about Portland, how it would be intriguing if Carmelo went there. I think he's a very good player. He can score the basketball. Gotta improve on defense, of course, which a lot of these players probably have to improve on. But yeah, I think I like his game. I think he's just steadily improving year by year. He's number 5 on my list. Number 4, Bradley Beal, and that now him and McCollum, you probably could flip a coin, but I gave Beal the edge because he had a little bit more success in the playoffs, as far as like getting out the first round. Well, Portland have gotten out the first round once too, but that was for McCollum, grew into what he grew in now. So I gave Beal the slight edge. Like I said, I had to improve defensively, but he could score the basketball, and I like his game, just like I said about McCollum. His game is sort of similar. So I got him at number 4. Number 3, DeMar DeRozan. Well, he was tricky because I think he might play the small forward a little bit more than shooting guard, but just his game, I would call him a shooting guard. Definitely a mid-range game, probably the best in the league. Of course, he get knocked for his 3-point shooting, especially everybody get knocked for that especially if you don't shoot it in today's NBA. But pretty good defensively. I think Toronto is sort of stuck in purgatory though. I think they reached their ceiling. They'd probably still be a playoff team, but I don't think they will go that far. Probably might get out the first round, but that's all. And I think it's going to always be like that till they really change the team up. But I like DeMar DeRozan. Number 2, Klay Thompson, 2-time champion. Probably the best defensive shooting guard in the NBA. And he can shoot the basketball, of course. Can heat it up at any moment. Of course, I think he set the record for points in the quarter. I think it's 39 points he had in the quarter one time. Of course, at full season champion, only person on this list that has a championship. So definitely had to get him on the list. He's number 2. Number 1, James Harden. I had to give James Harden the nod. I struggled with it. Thought about giving Klay Thompson the nod, just mainly because of the defense and because Harden played point guard a lot. But this year he won't be. He'll probably be playing the 2 guard most of the time now that Chris Paul is there. But Harden, he's been in the MVP conversation the last couple of years. Definitely established himself. Long way from when he used to come off the bench for the Oklahoma City Thunder. So I put him number 1. So top 5 once again. Number 5, C.J. McCollum for the Portland Trail Blazers. Number 4, Bradley Beal for the Washington Wizards. DeMar DeRozan at number 3 for the Toronto Raptors. Number 2, Klay Thompson for the Golden State Warriors. And number 1, James Harden for the Houston Rockets. So that's it for my NBA talk. So we'll move right on to the NFL. Thursday night game was pretty exciting. More exciting than we thought it was going to be. As the Rams won 41-39. I felt I was wrong about definitely wrong about the score. I wasn't wrong about the Rams winning, but I definitely was wrong about the score. And I said stay away from people in fantasy. Other than Gurley, and Gurley had a monster game, but if you had Jared Goff, if you had Carlos Hyde for the 49ers, Pierre Garçon had a big game, Hoyer didn't play that bad, Goff, as I mentioned, Sammy Watkins, all those 5 in particular, well 6, I did name 6 guys, had monster games in fantasy. I'm just glad I wasn't going up against none of them, so right now, I'm good as far as fantasy. I didn't have nobody in the game either. But the Rams look like a much improved team. I think they got a chance, not just to make the playoffs. I'm starting to think they could probably win this division the way Seattle has been looking. Arizona, like I said, still got too many injuries. With David Johnson going down, I think that hurts them. Even before that, I thought they would be a borderline wildcard team at the most. Rams have a chance. If they can win the games in the division. Got a couple of tough games though coming up, as I mentioned in the Wednesday blog. They got a tough schedule, so if they can somehow weather that schedule, they could be a contender at least for a wild card or maybe for the division as well. Seattle got a tough game this week, which I'm about to get into anyway. They might lose that game, so got a chance actually to be in first place. Arizona played Monday night in Dallas, so got a chance to be in first place by themselves after these week's games. Speaking of the games, let's get into them. Of course, more about fall Pacey and Pick'em still can join. Like I said, I'm not going to blab out all the information on the blog, but if you go back and look at my NFL preview blog, which I think is episode 25, I gotta get that right. I think it was episode 25, but it's there in the playlist and it's there on my channel. All the information is there, and every blog before that I put the information there, the password and the group name. You look at all that up. You gotta download the ESPN Fantasy app first though. Just get it. So let's run through the games real quick. First up, Ravens Jaguars. That's a London game, as the London series will begin. I think NFL do it for about 4 or 5 weeks. I think like every other week or something like that. Ravens. I know it's the Ravens' first time. Even a Ravens fan, I know this is the first time they've been to London. Jaguars go at least once every year. So I got the Ravens winning this game. Like I said, the defense looked good. Still, like I said, still worried about the offense, but their defense look sharp. I think they go force Bortles and a couple of picks, and they probably have another dominant performance. Moving on, this is one of the biggest games of the week. The Falcons and the Lions. Falcons 3-point favorites. Both teams 2-0 coming in. I like what I say for the Lions. I like what I say for the Falcons as well. Big win last week against the Green Bay Packers. I think I have them number 1 on my power rankings. Did I put them number 1? Let me see. Did I? I think I did. Yes, I did. So right now they're number 1 on my power rankings. Detroit at home, so I give them a shot in this game. Falcons usually not good on the road, but Detroit do play in a dome, so as far as like the atmosphere, it'd be similar to being at home. I got the Falcons winning in a tight game. I think it'd be high scoring, probably in the high 20s. Definitely a big game for fantasy. If you got Julio or Matt Ryan or I got Devontae Freeman, I definitely play him in this game. I think the Lions going to push the ball down the field as well. So if you got any Lions, I would play them. Put it on your options. I think Atlanta going to win this game. I think the Lions still not ready yet. Probably got to take a few more lumps. Now, if they win this game, definitely have a chance of crack my top 5. And also just what we think differently about them after this game. We'll see. But I got Atlanta winning in a close one. Broncos and Bills. Broncos defense has been dominant. Offense can come together well. Simeon been playing well. Bills just think this sort of like rebuild. I think it's feel like a rebuild there for them. Even though I like Rashad McCoy, I like Tyrod Taylor, but the Bills just seem like they're a middle of the road team. I think Denver goes in there and shut them down and win the game. Steelers and Bears. Got the Steelers. The Bears, like I said, also rebuilding. People already call it for Trubisky. I wouldn't put him in just yet, but he'll probably play before the season ends if they continue to slide. Steelers look a little shaky. All offense haven't been consistent. Defense has played pretty decent this year though so far. But I think they'll win the game in Chicago tomorrow. Browns and Colts. This is not on my big game list, but it's an interesting game. Both of these teams 0-2. Browns flavored for the first time on the road in forever. I think the Browns do it. I think they win this game. I think they got enough. I like the shot. I just like the way he's poised and how he looked. I think the Colts, like I said, just talent-wise, just not a good team. I think the Browns have a little bit more talent. I think they win the game. They're going to be close, though. Probably by a field goal. I think Cleveland wins and send the Colts to 0-3. Dolphins and Jets. Dolphins, of course, have that first week bye because of the hurricane. I think they beat the Jets. The Jets, just like what I said about the Bears, I think they rebuilding and cleaned house for a reason. Other than that, with this game, I think the Dolphins just have too much. The division game, they're going to shut the Jets down. I think they win. Buccaneers and Vikings. Surprised I didn't put this on my big game list. Vikings, of course, will be outside Bradford again. To me, that's why this is an easy choice for me. I think Tampa Bay wins. Case Keenum not going to be enough. I think Jameis Winston go in there, light it up a little bit against the Vikings defense, though not to be played with, but I think Tampa Bay will do enough to win the game. The Texans and Patriots, both teams coming 1-1. That is on my big game list. I think New England win this game. I think it'll be close though. I think the Texans defense will keep it close. Of course, though, Amendola, I think he's up in the air. Gronk, they pretty much said he's going to play, so they have some of their horses out there, but I think they're going to slow the Patriots down enough that they keep it close. But I think Deshaun Watson will be a little bit overwhelmed somewhat, and I think the Patriots win this game. Patriots 14 points for that. That's too high. I definitely take the points. 14 points is way too much for this game. I don't know where they're going with that, but I think it'll be way closer than 14. Saints and Panthers. Got the Panthers winning. Saints just in turmoil right now, and they on the road. Different road team. If this game was in the dome, I probably would get them more of a better shot if they was at home. Carolina offense has looked a little shaky as well, but their defense has been sharp. So I think they do enough, and they beat the Saints at home. Giants and Eagles. That is on my big game list. Eagles 6-point favorites. That might be a little bit too high. I just don't trust the Giants right now, so I'm going with the Eagles in this game. I think the Eagles going to cause some problems with the offensive line. I think the Eagles dominate in the trenches. They Carson Wentz make a couple of big plays, and Eagles will do enough at home to beat the Giants. And all HE double hockey sticks gonna break loose. If the Giants lose this game, they'll be 0-3, and that New York media and our media period is gonna blow it up. So just get ready for that. I think the Eagles win this game. They're gonna be close though. I think the Giants will keep close, but they did, like I said about the Texas defense. I think the Giants defense play better to keep them in the game, but I think the Eagles will make 1 or 2 more plays to win it. Seahawks and Titans. That's also on my big game list. Titans are 2-point favorite in this game. Sort of like how I feel about the Giants. I just don't like the Seattle offense. The offensive line is terrible as well. Russell Wilson has to do too much. Now this game could be close though. I don't feel great about this pick. Titans supposed to be their come up year. They're at home, so I say okay. The home crowd have maybe tilt the edge. Seattle don't play that well at home. I mean on the road. I went with the Titans in this game, but I would be surprised if it goes the other way. I think this game would be close. Titans to me just gotta keep it. If you say, basically it's a 3-point spread, I think they gotta have a bigger lead than that. I think they can't let Russell Wilson be able to make 1 or 2 plays. They can't be that close at the end, and that's when I think it'll favor Seattle. But I think if the Titans sort of dominate, keep Seattle at bay, run the football with Murray and Henry, don't put it in Mariota's hands too much, I think they can win this game. So I'm gonna go with them. Don't feel great about it, but I'm gonna go with the Titans in that game. Bengals, Packers. Bengals 0-2, Packers 1-1. Green Bay, of course, a tough loss last week to Atlanta. I think they bounced back. Bengals still will be out without Vontaze Burfict, which I think he's like sort of the soul of the team. I think they sort of a different team on defense, even though their defense still played pretty well. Andy Dalton, he got to step up and have a big game this week. They already asking for McCarr, so this will be a big game this week for them. But I think Green Bay does it. They at home. I think Aaron Rodgers show out and they beat Cincinnati. Chiefs and Chargers. Interested in AFC West game. This game probably can bury the Chargers. Chargers at home, even though it probably be more Chief fans there, I should say, in the Coliseum. Chargers, 2 tough losses. They easily could be 2-0 as well. But now this is pretty much an early must-win for them. Kansas City, they win this game, it might crack my top 5. A team that probably out of all the teams I left out, I felt more like I should have somehow got them in. But if they win this game, it definitely depends on how other teams look. They might can make my top 5. And I think they will win this game. I'm picking them. Just the same way, I just don't. Chargers just haven't looked until you prove it to me. And I like the Chargers, but until you prove it to me, it's hard for me to pick them. Even though I got a sort of another feeling like they probably could win this game. But I'm going with Kansas City. Raiders and Redskins. Oh, I said it. Sorry about that. I probably should find myself a Washington team. I think the Raiders win this game. Going on the road, they had a big road win against Tennessee, coming into the East Coast. I think they do it again against Washington. Then it's a late game, so it's not as, the East Coast, West Coast thing don't affect you as much. I think the Raiders take a step forward. They go to 3-0 as well, and they defeat the Washington football team. And last game of the week, the Monday night game, Cowboys and Cardinals. Cowboys 3 points favorites. This game is sort of tricky, but I think the way Dallas got beat last week will wake them up. And I think the Cardinals is trending down. I got Dallas winning the game. I think Ezekiel Elliott will come out. Probably had one of his best games of his career. I think Dak as well. And I think the Cowboy defense will get some confidence against this Cardinal offense. It's a little bit lost right now. I got Dallas winning 24-13 is my score. I always have a score for Monday night due to the picks. We got to pick a score. So got Dallas winning pretty convincingly 24-13 over the Arizona Cardinals. Like I said, Cardinals was one of my wild card teams. Well, I thought could win a wild card, but just due to how they've been playing, then without David Johnson, I think their whole offense is in the array. Their defense still pretty decent, but I think Dallas will be able to get some plays on them. I think they'll show up and win this game on Monday night. Alright, so that's my picks for week 3. Of course, my next blog will be Wednesday, which of course will feature the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears this week. So I have a preview of that game on Wednesday. Alright, so time to wrap things up. As far as whatever I covered this day, not really a lot going on other than that. The fight last week, Canelo and Triple G, of course, ended in a draw. Of course, a lot of hoopla about that. Of course, they're going to have a rematch. Look like it. I didn't see the fight, but the one judge had pretty much a crazy score of 118-110, which everybody was complaining about. But a lot of people, a lot of experts said Triple G won the fight outright, but they get to do it again. So people say it was a great fight, though. Actually, I think it's re-aired tonight, so I'll probably be able to see it tonight. I think HBO re-airs it for free, after the pay-per-view, so I'll probably check that out. Other than that, like I said, just check out all the rest of my projects. I did a short long shot video this morning. I had to rush. Like I said, I'm about to go spend some time with my twin nieces, so I had to rush the video. And I'm sort of rushing this one, even though I think I've still been on here for a half hour at least. Yeah, check out all my other projects, the retro series, of course, as I continue with Mega Man. I'm sort of stuck on a level, that's why I haven't posted any videos of that. And now it's been about 2 days. Of course, more Sonic Mania, Jack and Daxter, of course. That game I sort of gotta get in the mood to play, but I pretty much I'm gonna finish it though. NBA Live, I'll be doing some videos of that soon, so just keep a lookout for all that. Just one more thing I want to touch on. Of course, this is sort of related to sports, but it's not. Of course, everybody know what Trump said yesterday or last night about the NFL protesters and stuff. Like I said, I'm not not into politics. Honestly, not really religious that much either. And Trump, of course, he's just, to me, he's just an idiot. He's an idiot. Everybody knows he's an idiot. So basically all I have to say about it is he, like I said, I don't approve of what he believes in for the most part. I think some of the stuff he says is overblown. I think this situation, he don't help himself. Everybody that thinks, basically, people stereotype him just like everybody stereotype. He's stereotyped in a certain way. He don't help when he say stuff like this. Basically said that, you know, anybody gets the flag, this is that. So of course, you know, he sound insensitive. But, you know, like I said, honestly, to be honest with you, I'm just gonna get cut right to it. I'm just tired of it. I'm just tired of talking about politics and all this other garbage. Like I said, to everybody, every race in this country, think differently is always going to be this way. Period. Like I said, I have deeper beliefs, which I'm not going to get into because it'll take another half hour to talk about it. But I just think everybody in this country got to wake up and just start thinking differently, and you know, stop, you know, hating one another all the time just because we think differently. But to me, I think the biggest problem in this country is money. If you don't have no money, you struggle. If you got money, you alright. That's just basically what it is, which it shouldn't be that way to an extent like that. I know that's how you live, but you know, I just don't like how things are going right now. So I just hope things get better. But all that we can do is hope. But I'm tired of these are the people I am tired of. The people that's whining and crying. If you want change, you out there, you gotta make change on your own. Just like me saying this, not gonna help anything. Unless you go out there and get active and find ways to help. Maybe you don't know how, but you crying about it, definitely not gonna change anything either. So just really just tired of it. Tired of it all. Like, that's why I don't like social media. Everything is just magnified for no reason. But he don't help himself when he say stupid stuff like that in public. So that's on him. But that'll do it for this vlog. I want to say thank everybody for watching. Actually, I gotta get myself ready now to leave, so that's why I recorded so early. I won't be uploading it till later this afternoon, so just keep a lookout for it. Solid Day Assassin said thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much, and enjoy your weekend. Talk to you soon.